I'm up here seeing the damage we've done, and yeah, we've done some damage. Unfortunately, we've really stripped that cable back. It's obviously been swinging around a while. At least I think I've figured out what's what up here. In this episode, I'm on my own while Kel is doing terrestrial tourism with her parents. I have another breakage while sailing from Vakasa to Poros. This is where I hunker down to avoid the nasty weather and visit a catamaran show. Then I pop around to Volugainia Beach, which is simply stunning, and here's where I really start getting into the solo cruising lifestyle. It's a bit of a cliche, but they say the weather can reflect your mood. Kel has flown to Croatia with her parents for a couple of weeks. So I'm in Dakini by myself. I'm actually going to take her to sea, probably. There's some really nasty wind coming. Now I'm in Fiery, which is actually really good and a strong northerly. But I think I'd prefer to be somewhere a little bit less exposed. So I'm going to sail back to Poros, tuck in right under the cliffs there because there's some sort of 40 knot gusts coming over the next 3 or 4 days. It's also a yachting festival down there, might be a bit of life, just stay busy. But at the moment, I've got to prep the boat for departure in the rain. Could be tough getting us out in this wind, see how we go. It's been a Melbourne day weather-wise today. My first ever solo sail. You see I'm wearing my life jacket, that's because I've been doing some rounds, walking around the boat and putting the fishing rods out. So if I'm leaving the cockpit at all by myself, I need to put a life jacket on in case I fall overboard. I've also got the EPIB, bit of safety when Kel's not here. We've had one really significant issue pop up. You may recall a long time ago I was lamenting our loose VHF antenna. I think the rivets will have gone, snapped off at the base, the little holder. So it's rattling around up there. I presume it's hanging on by a little thin wire, and if that breaks through, it could smash through the panels, it could smash Starlink. Can't go there by myself at the moment. I mean, this course isn't great. The best thing we can do is just keep heading on, I think, and keep our fingers crossed. Oh, I'm a sad panda. Unfortunately, our aerial did fall off. Good news is it didn't land on any of the solar panels or the upper deck on the way through, so it must have just flopped over the side. I'm just putting the boat to bed. I've anchored in our favourite spot. As you can see, it's a stunning sunset this side of the Naval Academy. No Kel for a few days, it's a bit sad. I'm so glad we're not on the other side. I'll take some video tomorrow so you'll see how crazy busy it is. Well done, Kel, good decision. Massive fail. I just went through under the bridge to try and go to the AB, which is in Galatas, and I just got soaked. It's so rough. So I've parked back on our little wharf. The Poros wharves are shut, and they are shut for the massive Eastern Mediterranean Yacht Festival. It's like that all the way around. Wow. It's very strange anchorage at the moment. Everyone is pointing in a different direction. This is pretty weird. Oh, this is going to be messy. 6 charter boats just turned up. 6. All from the same fleet, and they're anchoring very close. There's heaps of them. This is crazy. Look like they're having fun though. I'll tell you what, if you want any other reason not to be anchored on this side in Poros, this is it. Definitely see why so many boats are moving to the other side. Wow, there is so much money alongside of Poros at the moment. And they've all got all their toys out so you can see, but man, the weather's just shit. The theme of the show is crewed chartered catamarans. So you get a captain and probably a steward as well. Which would be pretty impressive on a 46-foot cat. Yuck! 80 foot appears to be the biggest cats they've got here. Sunreefs, FPs, amazing boats. I'm super impressed. These are the 5 boats that we're all trying to find somewhere to go next to us. The guys running their charters managed to squeeze all 5 of them in by the car ferry. Respect. I've been helping boats re-anchor and unfoul anchors and all sorts of stuff. Just keeping an eye on everyone, and everyone's keeping an eye on everyone else, which is really good. Inside job. I am dismantling the coffee machine to give it a proper clean because it's gross. I'm not sure what a normal amount of muck in a coffee machine looks like. There's an unexpectedly large amount of loose beans rattling around in there, along with a few other grotty things. Anyway, this coffee machine's worth a fortune, so I want to get it going again. Unfortunately, one of the screws that holds the brew group in is corroded. I guess it's the power of coffee. I've got cleaned it out as well as I can without taking the brew group out. It's out in the sun, drying, maybe sterilising a little bit, and I've got all the other parts. So I'm just individually washing in the sink. I'll give them another wash tonight when I do the dishes, but that should be enough to get the machine hygienic again and making coffees. It works hard. First relatively low wind opportunity here in Poros. I'm probably going to go up the mast tomorrow to try and find out what happened to our VHF. Cool. Lovely sunset though. I'm up here seeing the damage we've done, and yeah, we've done some damage. Unfortunately, we've really stripped that cable back. It's obviously been swinging around a while. At least I think I've figured out what's what up here. What was 20-something boats sheltering from the strong northerly has now gone down to me, my British friends, my German friends, and a couple of other monos. Changed completely. The biggest challenge we have today is that our starboard bilge pump and the bilge sensor both appear to have stopped working. Now they're independent, so I think the pump's blocked, but the sensor's not going either. So I don't know how long it's been like that for. Very, very, very hard to access. So my plans of watching a whole bunch of football today and going for a walk, maybe not. And I've got a dinner date tonight, which is always fun. I'm being hosted. Made a real effort to meet other lagoon people this year. So already I've met a 420, identical virtually, sister boat to a 421. And a 400, which is a little bit smaller. I just really didn't feel like it when I was on board. Asking them all about the maintenance issues they've got, the improvements they've made. The poor people have had their ears totally chewed off by me. Curious little rhino that I am. And yeah, get enough solar, put on 2 inverters. It hadn't even occurred to me, but of course makes total sense. And it also gives you electrical redundancy, which we don't have, but we don't need because we don't have to cook with electricity. We've still got gas. But of course, once you take your gas off, you need electrical redundancy, which I hadn't even contemplated. So that's really interesting. I'll get some light down here soon. The pump's the white one. The sensor, you almost can't see, is the black one next to it. And my arms are probably 2 feet long, and I'd say that is 2 feet 6 inches. One of the most interesting, I'd say, improvements that I continue to see on lagoons around our size is the removal of the seat and the shrinking of the table. Really interesting. The seat I first saw on Gabion, and now I've seen it on just about every other boat. Either they're a little smaller than us and they don't get a seat to make it feel way roomier, or people have just ripped it out. Once done, hard to undo, but it's just a seat. Typical boats. Get the light out, get all the tools out, get ready to go. Push the button, bilge pump now sucking water. Still going to do the sensor, that's clearly not working. now the switch is working! What the fuck? I've just pulled everything apart! It's all working! Boats. I have moved hour and a half motoring around to the other side of Poros. I'm anchored in one of the more popular bays. It still only holds 3 or 4 boats, so I have gone very shallow, possibly a little too shallow when I first came in, because it was blowing me back up into the bay. I think I had about 70 centimetres under the keel. What an amazing spot. It's another Australian boat out there, Sea Lions, being joined by what I think might be a charter boat. Now the main part of Poros Island has a number of hiking trails all over it, so I'm going to see if I can't find it and then do the loop that returns to Volugainia Bay. Here we go, I found a sign. Well, I was really doing my running with Colm in Tunisia, which I didn't think was that long ago, but I tell you what, hasn't taken long and I'm back to being puffed. A stunning view out towards Athens, so that's Agana Island there, and then Athens, and then Vari, where I dropped off Kel, Helen and Pete, just to the right of it. So I've got to be back there in 6 days to pick up Cal before we head Cyclades way. Here you go, number 6, heading in the right direction. Oh, I can just see us now, poking out there. What a spot. 4th yacht's coming in. Well, it's not very easy to understand, but I'll give it to them. It's very modern and well signposted. And I'm just going to say, it is very intrepid. I didn't see what the sign gave it in terms of how rough it is, but yeah, it's rough. Oh, that's a pretty little church though. They're never the most social of creatures, horses, are they? What's the morning cleaning job here in Volugainia on Poros? Our main tools and large spares locker needs a clean out. So yeah, maybe I'm not going anywhere today. Well, that's it. I'm now alone in Volugainia, this lovely bay on the northeast side of Poros. I took the opportunity to move Dakini. I was a bit sick of being in having 70 centimetres of water under the keel, so I've just dumped us right in the middle in 5 metres of water. I think it was 5 or 6 metres of water, and I feel much more comfortable now. Well, as you can see, we've got lots of swinging room. Main priority now is to finish that locker, put everything away. As expected, had to stay another day. Going to do the little hike again, add the extra couple of 100 metres to get to the Temple of Poseidon now that I've looked at it on the map. Thought I was going to be by myself. I've been by myself for a while, but this monohull's just turning up. Well, one of the things I wanted to do when I went on my hike was get some photos of Dakini being the only boat in the bay. It's not going to happen. This time I'm visiting the little church, mainly because I need a break. I'm not sure if it shows, but we've got a nice visual reference. There's a weed bank just behind Dakini. That's where it was when I left her. So if there's not a gap between the stern and the weed, I'll run down the hill. Just wish Kel was here, really miss her. I believe I found the temple of Poseidon, and looks like there's going to be some real information here. Awesome! Goodness me, this is the site where Demosthenes, never sure how to pronounce that, but a famous philosopher or orator, this is where he committed suicide according to this sign. Well, if you really squint, you'll be able to see Dakini all the way down there in Volugainia Bay. Now I am standing on the walls of the Temple of Poseidon here on Poros. Just loving having a look at Dakini from up here though. She's... Anyway, I'm going to head back to Dakini. Go for a swim. What a day. I was supposed to go up there. That is a 2 out of 5 hearts. Department of Conservation New Zealand would be proud of the road signs here, or track signs. There's someone else coming in. Can't quite see us yet. We'll be down there somewhere. Wow, I'm guessing there are a couple of very experienced French mariners that just came in, sailed within a couple of meters of us, and then turned around under sail and anchored right next to us. I have a serious case of must go for a swim-itis after that hike. Gonna do my usual entry technique, but I might even treat myself and drop the ladder. Oh, lovely black gold. I'm going to try and go for a swim almost every day of the year now that I've started, but it is cold. That was lovely. Now I'm not in the habit of going for a swim on the anchor every anchorage, but if you're swimming you might as well, especially when you've just moved anchorages. That's alright, going for another one. Off the bow this time. Diving. Diving. Now you will note that I measure everything in feet and inches on board. I've got no idea why, I've always done that. I'm metric born and bred, but for whatever reason, feet, inches works for me.